Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're not just looking at general health tips, we are investigating the hidden operating system that quite literally governs human life. Our mission here is to reveal the invisible biological forces that shape your sleep, your energy, and ultimately, the survival of your cardiovascular system.
Think about it. Every single night, you completely lose consciousness. For decades, we've kind of been taught to view sleep as just this passive state of rest, right? Like a biological shutdown. But the truth is the exact opposite. While you are blacked out, your biology is just waking up. Sleep is actually a critical, hyperactive operating system update. It's this dedicated period where your body systematically repairs the damage of being awake, recalibrates your nervous system, and fundamentally programs your resilience for the very next day. Which brings us to a really profound realization. What if the single greatest determinant of your cardiovascular lifespan happens while you are completely unconscious? Seriously, how exactly does sleep mechanically dictate the trajectory of your physical life? Section 1. The hidden operating system. The American Heart Association actually describes sleep as an active period of profound autonomic fluctuation. And what that means in plain English is that while you're lying there perfectly still, your biology is running this highly choreographed, high-stakes routine. Your heart, your blood vessels, your brain, they aren't resting at all. They're actively running vital diagnostics, primarily regulated by your autonomic nervous system, to set your baseline cardiovascular function for survival. Section 2. The U-shaped survival curve. 6.5 to 8 hours. Now, that is not just some casual lifestyle suggestion you can brush off. That is the exact biological window your cardiovascular system requires to run its maintenance protocols and literally keep you alive. If you deviate from that window, the system starts to fail. We see this incredibly clear U-shaped survival curve in the data. On the short end, so sleeping under 6.5 hours, your fight or flight system glitches. It gets stuck, driving up your risk of coronary heart disease by a massive 45%. But then, if you oversleep past 8 hours, you trigger a totally different threat. You're looking at impaired glucose metabolism, elevated cortisol, and a 20% higher risk of cardiovascular diseases. The human machine requires absolutely precise timing. Section 3, the autonomic night shift. You know, sleep is not just one uniform block of time. It's really a tale of two entirely different nervous systems. During non-REM sleep, your body enters parasympathetic dominance. This is your deep, healing, rest and digest mode. But during REM sleep, when you're actively dreaming, you experience what's called sympathetic volatility. Your system faces these intense stress challenges, almost as if you were awake and running around. It's essentially an active cardiovascular stress test happening entirely while you are physically paralyzed in bed. So the absolutely crucial point is what happens during that deep, non-REM sleep. A biological phenomenon kicks in called nocturnal dipping. Your systemic blood pressure decreases, which massively reduces the workload on your heart and promotes arterial compliance. Think of this process exactly like turning down the idle on a really hot car engine. This physical drop in pressure is what allows your arteries to cool down and structurally heal from all the inflammation and oxidative stress of your daily life. And researchers at ETH Zurich and the University of Zurich have visualized this spectacularly. They discovered that by delivering targeted stimulation, literally just brief tones played during deep sleep, the heart's left ventricle reacts with much more vigorous contractions. It effectively wrings out the blood, almost like a sponge. It acts as this massive flush, a mechanical reboot triggered purely by the depth of your sleep, washing the brain and extremities in fresh, oxygen-rich arterial blood. It's incredible. Section 4. Cellular vascular decay. Now let's watch the physiological domino effect when this goes wrong, say during a bad night's sleep or if you're dealing with chronic insomnia. It begins with hyperarousal. Basically, your fight or flight system gets stuck in the on position. This floods your entire body with elevated cortisol, which then ignites systemic inflammation and ultimately accelerates severe damage to your arteries through something called endothelial dysfunction. A bad night of sleep doesn't just make you groggy, it is a silent cardiovascular attack. To really understand that threat, we have to look closely at endothelial dysfunction, and specifically the loss of nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the non-stick Teflon coating for your blood vessels. It keeps them totally relaxed, fights off inflammation, and prevents dangerous clots. When sleep loss destroys this gas, your veins literally lose their armor. Check this out. In an incredible clinical study on hypertensive adults, researchers infused a chemical called LNMM,
that temporarily blocks nitric oxide. For normal sleepers, the ones getting 7 to 9 hours, their blood vessels immediately stopped dilating properly. This proved their Teflon coating was working perfectly, right up until the researchers blocked it. But for the short sleepers, the ones getting less than 7 hours, the chemical did absolutely nothing. Why? Because the short sleeper's protective shield was already completely gone. Sleep loss had completely wiped it out.
Section 5. Reprogramming Human Resilience. So how do we fix it? Well, take CPAP therapy for obstructive sleep apnea. Apnea causes these repetitive airway collapses, which creates nightly states of extreme biological panic. By resolving that physical, mechanical blockage, CPAP acts as a hard system reset. It immediately halts that severe stress cascade, lowering arterial pressure and quite literally reprogramming the nervous system out of a chronic state of emergency. And it goes way beyond just physical devices. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI, is the first-line guideline-recommended treatment for chronic insomnia. And right now, the Duke University Sleep Right trial is investigating something truly awe-inspiring. They're studying whether the behavioral reprogramming of CBTI can actually successfully repair the biological glitch of absent nocturnal blood pressure dipping in hypertensive adults. We are literally learning how to use behavior and thoughts to rewrite the code of our cardiovascular biology.
We've peeled back the layers to decode the hidden mechanisms beneath your consciousness. We've seen exactly how sleep governs your nervous system, your cellular health, and, ultimately, the lifespan of your heart. Which leaves us with one unavoidable, vital question to consider. If every single hour of sleep is a mechanical signal dictating your vascular health, what code are you writing for your physical life tonight? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Sleep well.